Aaron Slimane, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you feeling ahead of your bare knuckle boxing return and your BYB Extreme debut this coming Saturday at BYB 36, the Cardiff Brawl?
Excited for the fight. Just got to get to weigh-in, which is the hard part.
Sure. I
But
mean,
very excited for the fight.
how's it? Obviously, this is not a sport that you're new to, but things are going to be quite different because they're fighting under a completely, different brand. They've acquired BKB last year, and also the environment they're going to be competing is going to be obviously a lot smaller. The Trigon's got only 360-degree corners. I mean, how
Yeah.
does that feel? Because again, I would listen to you in other interviews. I would listen to the CEO of BYB, Greg Bloomberg. Had him on the show just about a month ago. Um, the Trigon pushes the fighters to really go on the offensive, go on the defensive, whichever way it is. But it really does make for a much more interesting watch for the fans. I mean, what do you think? As in, how you feel about that?
Yeah, it just makes you fight more, really, doesn't it? And I think you've got to be a lot smarter. Like, I don't mind counter punching a lot, but I need to make sure I don't just spend the fight coming back because you get caught in them corners. That's where things can go bad for you. But in regards to like the rounds, I'm used to fighting 5-3s. He's not. That's what we do. We do 5-3s. He won't have done that before. And the clinch, obviously the dirty boxing style of things. I know it's not like a Thai clinch, but I feel like that's another aspect that'll suit me more.
Mhm. No, of course. Um, your opponent, how do you feel about it? I mean, I looked at his fight record and fighting style. I think currently you've got the upper hand because he's coming off quite a few losses. He's coming off a losing streak or so.
Yeah, he took two losses in a row. The last one, I don't feel like he should have lost because he put the guy down and then it was after the bell, so they kind of give it a DQ win. So I feel like that's a bit unfortunate because it was in like that when it was BKB, those were 2 minute rounds. As they were breaking, he threw a punch and dropped his opponent, and then the opponent were like, "Oh, I can't continue," type thing, or something like it was something like that anyway. But I feel like that shouldn't have really been a loss.
What do you
But,
hope to see? Okay, no, finish, please.
but I don't because you never know what's. It's been a while since he's fought, so yeah, he might have lost a couple, but I don't look at it like that. I look at it as he's going to be hungry coming. He's in his hometown. He's going to want to be making a name off me. So
Yeah,
I'm treating him like he's the hardest opponent I can get.
you're not going to be, let me say, as they do say in the US, you're not going to be sleeping or don't sleep on this name, because you still believe that he's going to be a big challenge for you come fight night this Saturday.
Yeah, I think you've got to like I think being confident in yourself isn't a bad thing. Like I'm confident I'll beat him. I'm confident I'll stop him. But that's not looking past him as an opponent. It's bare knuckle, like, and all it takes is one shot.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I think I'll win. I'm confident I'll win. I've trained hard enough, but you've got to have that in your mind as well that he ain't gonna just come and roll over.
And I thought I should talk. I can't ignore your last bare knuckle fight, whereby you more or less finished the fight in the first round at BKB 25. You got that KO and TKO in the first round. And I think your shots were that severe that the referee and the doctor had to step in to call it quits. And I think you took the win home that night.
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of. I'm not necessarily a power puncher, but I'm an accurate puncher. Like I've got good timing. I've got power, but I'm just not known for being a knockout artist. But I know if I land on you, I might not even knock you out, but I will hurt you. I will cut you. Like accumulative damage.
No, no, I can see that in that fight because you were very dominating, like you dominated the entire round up until you finished it.
And that's how I feel like this fight will go. I feel like he'll come forwards, he'll press a bit. My voice went then.
Mm.
He'll press a bit, but I feel like I'll land. Like I always land, and without gloves, when you land, it can be a game change. Obviously, same for him on me, but I feel like my fight IQ is just a lot higher.
It's something I don't think I asked you the first time that I had you on the show. Um, Before now, I think you've been keeping busy with Muay Thai and kickboxing. But what was it that kind of enticed you to come back to this? Because one thing that does stand out between bare knuckle boxing and the other combating disciplines is the fact that the injuries can be far more severe. I mean, I've seen some males and females have their face has been redesigned, whether they've lost or won the fight after the fight. And you do
Yeah.
wonder why you guys are really taking a risk to go in there and compete and at the same time give us fight fans some entertainment.
I feel like with the trajectory of it, it's like, yeah, there's high risk, but there's also high reward. Like BYB, obviously buying BKB, I can now could get the opportunity to fight in America. And since I'm young, all I've ever wanted to do is fight in America. So like, yeah, it's high risk, but the rewards for me outweigh the risk.
Yes. That's a good answer. You've mentioned something else. Now that BKB has been acquired by BYB, you've now got a bigger fight fan base and a larger audience as well. There's no
Yeah, exactly.
question. How has the your fight camp been? Has been going great. I think before I had press record, you were telling me about you still got some weight to lose, but how has everything been nutrition, training, sparring?
Yeah, everything's been going well. Obviously, it's been quite hard. I never thought it would be that hard, but training how cold it's been. Because obviously we carried on training over Christmas, and when it hit January, it just went freezing. And getting to gym early and training, I've just been thinking like, why am I doing this? No one's forcing me to do it. And it's worse. 'Cause I just got back from Thailand as well before Christmas, so we're used to the warmth, and then coming and doing a 8, 10 week camp in this, it's not been the nicest. I'll tell you that. But sparring's been good. I've been getting some really good sparring in. I've got sparring partners, Tyrus and Christoph, getting some really good rounds in. And everyone, my coaches, my teammates, everyone's been pushing me because boxing's obviously on paper it's not my main discipline, and I've been keeping up with good boxers.
Mhm. Despite the hot weather over in Thailand and training there versus training here in the UK, training that has loads more advantages, I take it.
100%, yeah. Like obviously fought twice there, and because you just sweat that much, I was just pretty much on weight all the time. I wasn't fighting as heavy, which helped.
Mhm.
I mean, I wasn't fighting as light, sorry, which helps. But I weren't having to do any drastic cuts.
Yeah.
I was just training, eating right, and because you're that sweaty, the weight just dropping off you.
Do you feel that you again you're going to be fighting in more or less a different promotion, has a bigger reach worldwide, and of course
Mm.
slightly different environment with now they're going to be fighting within a Trigon. Uh, do you feel that maybe there's slightly a bit more added pressure added to you to go in there and to perform your best and come back with the win? Because now you've got even the you now even got let's say a bigger, stronger American fan base as well who'll be watching you.
Yeah, I think that's what makes or breaks you, though. If I find out in the night, I'll either rise to the occasion or I'll crumble. Don't think I'll crumble, but I feel like that's how it is when you're on the big shows. You either rise to it or you crumble.
It's something that I've not asked you before, but it's something I've been asking fighters for I think for the past two or three or five interviews. But you yourself, um, if you had the opportunity and the chance, who would be your dream opponent and what location would the fight take place in? Worldwide, it can be any discipline.
Um, I don't know, because all my favorite fighters, they'd probably kick the shit out of me, so I'm not too sure. Well, no, there's no probably about it. All my favorite fighters would kick the fuck out of me. So, um, I think at the moment it would be just someone on one championship. That'd be the
Really?
dream to fight on one championship.
No, no
Any
particular
my
fight.
way. No,
Any.
because all the guys I like I said, I'd get battered. So anyone really. It'd be an opportunity. I'd take a fight with anyone on that promotion. Like I've took stupid fights in the UK that I shouldn't have took. So I'd take anything to fight on that world stage.
Going back to this upcoming fight card, it's pretty stacked. You got yourself and Besley. There's Alex Wilson. He's gone up against Jack Marshman. Got Callum Shane. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Callum Shane. He's going to be going up against Joe Fitzpatrick. Then there's Barry Jones going up against the Venezuelan champion Gregoris Cisneros. So I hope I pronounced that correctly as well. But for you, which is the most interesting bout that you are anticipating to see?
Obviously, watching Barry Jones is always good. I'm mates of Alex. I know Alex, and he's fighting obviously Jacker in the UFC. He was in the army like I was, so that one will be a nice one to watch. But I think the Barry Jones fight, like, I like watching Barry Jones. I like the way he fights.
Okay.
So shame I'll have to wait till main event to watch that, but I think that's the reason it's on last.
Um, any final messages you would have for your opponent as we're etching closer and closer to fight night?
No, and he's not said anything bad about me, so I ain't got anything bad to say about him. If anything, he's been quite respectful towards me. If someone badmouths me, I'll badmouth them. But like I say, he's been fine. So yeah,
Eh,
good luck. I hope training's gone well. I got sent something saying that he's already on weight, so he probably got a bit of not an advantage, but in his head, he'd probably think, "Oh, I ain't got to do a cut. I'm already on weight." But and I've been here plenty of times. I've made the mistake of not refueling right once before, and it cost me big for it. So this time, I'm just going to make sure. Yeah, tomorrow night it's going to be shit, getting in that sauna and sweating everything out. But I know the day after I'm going to be refueling. I'm going to be ready for Saturday.
You guys have never crossed paths before, even in the past,
I've
not
no, no, I've
recent.
never even met him. Never spoke to him.
Okay, all right. This will be a very interesting bout in the Trigon. Last year you were crowned champion of European champion of a particular bout. I'm not sure if you're in the UK or on the continent, but can you talk a bit about that? Because I was trying to find the name of the promotion, just couldn't see it anywhere.
It were on a guy from Leeds who also fights on BYB, Scott McHugh's promotion. It was against a guy called Siru Bogdan. He's fought on some pretty big shows in the Romania way. And I just got Scott messaged me saying, "Oh, I've got this guy. He fights at 70." So we met at, obviously I fight at 74 usually. So we kind of met halfway at like 73. So I did have a good bit of size on him. And as soon as I saw him, I knew I was like, I'm too big for you.
You felt, or does people point out that probably it w wasn't going to be a fair fight because commentators have commented on your height that you one thing that stand out about you that you are particularly tall.
Yeah, for the weight class, especially like for 72 to 74 kg, I might not be the thickest, but I am quite tall. And he obviously being a 70 kg fighter, he technically came up a bit. I had a lot of height on him. Don't get me wrong, it was a good confidence boost when I saw him, but for the face offs and stuff, I was just like, you aren't getting close to me. And that was the story at fight, really. Like, landed the shots he did land, obviously, because they were doing 4 ounce gloves. I was like, oh, I don't want to get hit by that again. But I knew my attributes would keep him away.
You said the fight wasn't anything official, doesn't count towards your pro record.
No, the belt, it was more like a show belt. So it wasn't sanctioned. It wasn't like an ISKA.
Okay, all right, I understand.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you still won, and your skill set still shone in that match.
Hey,
So
it was a good fight. I really
yeah, yeah.
enjoyed it. Nice and
Mm.
local in Leeds as well, which is good for me. I took a big crowd.
How are things at the gym? Yorkshire Gladiator.
A Sweatbox. I do a bit of boxing at Yorkshire Gladiators, but my main gym's Sweatbox.
Things are moving so fast in this in this fight scene. I have to keep up. But I mean, how are things going? And you have any new coaches, or is it the same same guys you keep around you going into the BYB debut?
Yeah, same obviously David, my main coach. Obviously he's mainly a Thai boxing, kickboxing, like MMA style coach, but he can just adapt to any fight I'll take. He can adapt and coach me for it. And then obviously I've just been doing S&C with Nat Robinson. Something I have changed this camp is I've been doing like mind coaching um, with mind coach Rob. It's like just getting you mentally prepared and so because I got stuck in a bit of a habit of in a 3 round fight, for example, it took me a while to get going. Obviously, 5 rounders in Thai boxing, you can ease into it. But then, like the K1, which were 3 rounds, sometimes it took me a while to get going. And I know this is 5 rounds, but it's bare knuckle. I didn't want to have to take a few shots
Yeah.
to wake up and get going because I could take a few shots and that could be me done. So I thought I need to be able to, as soon as the bell goes, be switched on and go. And that's something, and it's just helped me. Like I think he's helped my confidence a lot. Because like I said, my mind's bulletproof at the minute. There's nothing I can see stopping me. Not just in this fight, in general.
Yeah. It's one thing that I have seen in this particular sport. I think combat sports as a whole, you can't just be physically ready or health ready health wise. You must be mentally ready as well because nothing can distract you. Nothing can, you really have to make sure nothing can break you, not trash talking, slandering, nothing at all. So a mind coach that sounds really good, really, really beneficial.
Yeah, mental is the biggest part of it because you can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, there's no point.
And I think does your military background also help in that as well? Because that is a place whereby you got to make sure, even you got to make sure that complaining and kindness is like one of the last things you do. Because there's a lot of things there that you just have to put up or put up and shut up about. Don't explain, don't complain. That
Just
kind
do
of
it.
thing.
Yeah, I think it's helped 'cause a lot of the stuff I did in the army, you didn't want to do. Like you didn't want to be out freezing your tits off at night at 3 a.m. in some random field in Scotland or something, for example. Whereas the fighting, you want to do it. So it's like if I can do that, which I don't want to do, I want to do this. No one's forced me to do this. I mean, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. So that kind of, I think it does help a bit, yeah. And the kind of just cracking on mentality.
Yeah, let's just get on with it.
Yeah, just like fuck it. Well, like you can. If I get injured, yeah, I'll be gutted. But as long as it's after the fight, it's bothering me. I don't care. During the fight, I just need to crack on, bite down on the gum shield, and just go for it. Really.
Last but by no means least, any shout outs you want to give? I'm sure you'll have a longer list than the last time.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of. Wait, might have some in there actually. Yeah, got my fight shorts here. So obviously to my gym, Sweatbox, and then my sponsors might take a while. DK Landscaping, Siam Sports Therapy, Sean Pick Massages, Onyx Tattoo Studio, Ginger Snaps Cafe, Gentleman's Quarter Barbers, Advanced Fencing, Rural Security, the Pontefract Tavern, 411, and Brotherhood Strength and Conditioning. Not a long
Awesome.
that. It's good job I had them shorts there.
If you can, please send me a list of all those guys, and I'll make sure I tag them in both stories, post, and the YouTube post itself on the YouTube platform. Aaron, thank you once again for coming on. I look forward to seeing you stepping into the Trigon on Saturday, 1st of February at BYB 36, the Cardiff Brawl.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to watch and listen. Don't forget you can also catch the audio versions of this episode on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to please leave a like and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And once again, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you.
Cheers, Pat. Thank you for having me on.
Take care.